All right, so obviously I live rather remotely. Hey, buddy. And you can see that there is no telephone poles in sight. So I can't get internet by way of the wire. So no DSL, no cable modem, none of that good stuff. And I'm also, so you can see, big mountain between me and Taos, so I can't get their wireless service. So if we walk over here a bit, we can see my antenna array up here. Now up at the top, there's actually a television antenna, which for some reason is not working right now, but I don't use it anyway. And then below that, you can see one Yagi antenna, which is for my cell phone service, to bring the cell phone service into the house. And then the other two on that crossbar are for the internet, all pointing, west towards the tower. That is how I get my internet service, by way of cellular. It's really the only choice out here, because if you go satellite, you basically have the worst possible experience with the internet, because they have the lowest caps and the highest price. With the possible exception of Starlink, which I don't like anyway, because they've got this crazy dish that has to move and track things, and it probably draws a lot of power. And living off the grid, that makes no sense. And a big complicated system like that is obviously worse than a simple system. So, and it's really, really expensive, $600 to get in on it. And then it's like $110 or $120 a month. It's very expensive. In theory, unlimited. I don't like the technology. Satellite internet's not the way to go in the future, as far as I'm concerned. For rural internet, cellular is better. But unfortunately, I've got a little bit of an issue with them right now. Now, at the moment, I have a T-Mobile data line. And it's a 100 gig line, which they don't offer anymore, for $50 a month. Now you have to pay $50 a month for a 50 gig data line if you want to get a data line. So obviously I can never get rid of that because I can never get it again. But they do offer this T-Mobile home internet service, which is supposed to be unlimited for $50 a month. And I've been on the waiting list for literally for years for that. And unfortunately, recently, I've been on the phone with the T-Mobile technician at least 3 times where they said that it was available to me and I could have it. Either the home internet unlimited or the home internet light, either way would be a benefit. And I got all the way through the process with them, right to the end when they say, oh, I'm sorry, it's not available. 3 times, I think actually 4 times that's happened. And the last time, supposedly it actually is, home internet light actually is available to me. But for some reason, if your home address, your physical address is different from your mailing address, they can't set you up. So how much sense does that make, right? Who is this service for? It's not for the person in living downtown Taos who's got a mailbox, right at the end of their driveway. It's for guys like me living in areas like this where there's no mail delivery, so I have to have a separate mailing address. So T-Mobile, what's wrong with you people? Fix your system. This is dumb. Now, I also had a failure last night, or actually, night before last. My router, my cellular router for the T-Mobile data line that I've been using failed. And unfortunately, T-Mobile dropped the ball again trying to get me up and running after that happened. Because I have another device, it's a Netgear Nighthawk, which I was using on the T-Mobile service previously, and works just fine, nothing wrong with it. Confirmed that with Netgear. And T-Mobile support team can't get it going. It's giving me an error message saying that T-Mobile has locked the device out of their network, and they can't figure it out. Anyway, I'll show you the devices in a second, but right now I'm not going to recommend T-Mobile to anybody, although they are pretty much the only option for me out here. If another option comes along, I'm going to seriously consider it. So this is the device that failed. Got it all apart, obviously. Thought I had it fixed, and didn't. So got it quite far apart, and I chased down the issue. I thought I had the signal going through, and it just wasn't communicating, but it failed completely, I guess. Anyway, so that's not the real issue. Hardware fails, and you have to move on. But I have another device, this guy here. I don't know why you can't see the screen. There we go. Now you'll notice when this thing comes up, for some reason, it's locked out by the T-Mobile network. It's not, there's no problem with the device. It works just fine, but you can see registration error, phone not allowed, MM#6. Look that error message up, and what it means is, if we can get it to focus, which I seem not to be able to do. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I opened a ticket with T-Mobile, and they come back and tell me, we checked your coverage area and there's no outages or anything, so you're okay. And I'm like, yeah, except everything you just did was a complete waste of time because it has nothing to do with my coverage. Anyway, if I cycle over here, I've got signal on this thing. It's device is seeing the wireless signal. You really can't see it, but I've got one bar. If I raise it above my head, I'll get two. And of course I have my rooftop antennas it's not connected to. So with that connected to the antennas, it would be fine. So no issue with connectivity to the network. I don't understand why every time I put in a support ticket to somebody, they just assume it's the easiest possible issue and go with that. And then say, oh, well, that doesn't seem to be the problem, so we're done here. No, you're not done here because you haven't solved the problem. You're done when the issue's resolved. So they called me this morning at 6:15 in the morning for some reason to tell me that the ticket was closed and that the issue had been resolved or they found no issue. And they haven't solved the problem. Don't close the ticket until the problem is solved. So I had her reopen the ticket for me, and we'll see what they do. But as of right now, I kind of hate T-Mobile.